You ever been to Hawaii? Man, it's like stepping into a postcard. These islands are smack dab in the middle of the Pacific, thousands of miles from anything. Volcanoes birthed this place, fire and fury rising from the ocean floor. Now it's all lush green valleys, waterfalls tumbling down cliffs, and beaches that go on forever. Paradise, plain and simple. People come from all over to experience this. Surfers chasing the perfect wave, families lounging on the sand, hikers exploring those volcanic peaks. It's a place to forget your worries, soak up the sun, and just breathe. That's the thing about Hawaii. It gets under your skin, makes you believe in beauty again, makes you feel small, but in a good way. Now Honolulu, that's the beating heart of Hawaii. On the island of Oahu, this city's a blend of island vibes and big city buzz. Skyscrapers reaching for the clouds, but always with a view of that turquoise water. You got Diamond Head Crater looming over Waikiki Beach, surfers catching waves before breakfast. It's a place that never sleeps but always knows how to relax. Then you got Hilo, over on the Big Island. Different vibe altogether. This place is all about raw, untamed nature. We're talking active volcanoes, lava flows shaping the land, rainforests teeming with life. It's humbling, you know? Reminds you that nature's in charge, and we're just along for the ride. Hilo's got a slower pace, but there's a power in that stillness. It gets in your blood. See, getting between these islands, it's more than just a flight, it's a way of life. Aloha Airlines, they were the ones who connected these dots. Flight 243, that was their regular hop from Hilo to Honolulu. Quick trip, about an hour in the air. Locals, tourists, maybe even a musician or two heading to a gig. Just another Tuesday, or so they thought. That Boeing 737, she was a workhorse. Seen a lot of sunrises over the Pacific. This route, it was routine. Take off, climb to cruising altitude, soak in those incredible views, then descend into Honolulu. Nothing fancy, just a quick hop between two slices of paradise. But on this particular day, April 28, 1988, routine was about to fly out the window. Morning in Hilo, sun shining that salty air thick with the smell of plumeria. Flight 243 was boarding up, 89 souls ready to make that journey. Got your vacationers, businessmen in aloha shirts, maybe a couple heading home after visiting family. Normal folks with lives to live and stories to tell. Up in the cockpit, Captain Robert Schornsteimer and First Officer Madeline Mimi Tompkins were running their checks. Veterans, both of them, thousands of hours in the air, knew this route like the back of their hands. Weather was clear, plane was given a once-over, everything seemed right. With a rumble and a roar, Flight 243 took to the skies, climbing towards the clouds. Just another routine takeoff. Little did they know they were riding a ticking time bomb. A terrifying roar. The sky splits open. Imagine this, you're cruising at 24,000 feet, sipping your Po-G juice, looking out at the clouds. Then bam! It's not an explosion, more like a giant ripping open the plane. Metal screams, wind tears through the cabin, and the sky's right there in your face. That's what those folks on Flight 243 faced. Part of the fuselage right over the first-class section just ripped away. Gone. Like a magic trick, but terrifyingly real. People were sucked out, their screams swallowed by the wind. Oxygen masks dropped, useless against the 200-mile-an-hour gale. Luggage, food trays, pieces of the plane itself, all whipped away like confetti in a hurricane. It was chaos, pure and simple. But even in the midst of that nightmare, something incredible happened. The pilots, they kept their cool. Holding it together, skill and courage in the cockpit. Imagine the cockpit, that deafening roar, the controls going haywire, the plane shuddering like a bucking bronco. Most of us, we'd panic. Not Schornsteimer and Tompkins. They were trained for the unexpected, and by God, they earned every bit of that training. First things first, they struggled to control the plane. This wasn't just a bumpy flight. This was a wounded bird fighting to stay airborne. With the cockpit partially exposed to the elements, they fought to maintain control, their skills pushed to the absolute limit. They knew they had to land, and fast. Problem was, the nearest airport was in Maui, still a long way off. They couldn't even talk to air traffic control, the wind ripping away their words. But these two, they worked together, silent communication passing between them. Every second felt like an eternity. Every decision could mean life or death. A life lost, the unthinkable sacrifice. Amidst the heroism, there was tragedy. See, a flight attendant named Clarabelle C.B. Lansing, she was standing near the tear when it happened. 1 minute she was offering a Mai Tai, the next, gone. Just like that, a life taken by the unforgiving sky. The other flight attendants, bless their hearts, they were heroes too, tending to the wounded, calming the terrified, all while the plane was practically coming apart around them. Imagine that level of courage, that dedication to others, even when facing your own mortality. CB's loss was a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life, a stark contrast to the incredible display of human resilience happening on that flight. Against all odds, landing on a prayer. They say a good landing is one you can walk away from. Well, this landing, this was a miracle. Schornsteimer, battling the mangled controls, somehow managed to guide that wounded bird towards Maui's Kahului airport. The runway was getting closer, but the plane was barely holding together. No flaps, limited control, and the very real possibility of crashing and burning. But they didn't. With the skill of a surgeon and the nerves of steel, Schornsteimer put Flight 243 down. Hard landing, sparks flying, but they were on the ground. Safe. Well, as safe as you can be when half your plane is missing. As those emergency slides deployed and passengers stumbled out, the reality of it all sunk in. They had survived the impossible. Unraveling the mystery, the aftermath and investigation. Word spread like wildfire. A plane ripped open mid-flight yet somehow landed? People couldn't believe it. The investigation, that was intense. Every piece of that plane scrutinized, every maintenance record examined. See, they needed to know why, how this could happen. The flying public needed reassurance that this wasn't going to become the norm. Turns out, it was a combination of things. Metal fatigue, salty air corrosion, and maybe some missed warning signs during maintenance. Basically, the plane was literally coming apart at the seams, a perfect storm of factors, all coming together at 24,000 feet. The NTSB, they issued a bunch of recommendations, stricter inspection protocols, changes to how they deal with aging aircraft. This wasn't just about one plane, it was about making sure something like this never happened again. Lessons learned. A legacy of safer skies. The story of Flight 243, it's a stark reminder of the power of nature, the fragility of life, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. The investigation, the changes it sparked, they made flying safer for everyone. Next time you're up in the air, take a moment to appreciate the work that goes into keeping those planes flying. The engineers, the mechanics, the air traffic controllers, they're all part of this incredible ballet that keeps us soaring through the sky. And spare a thought for those who were on that flight, for Clarabelle Lansing, who lost her life, for the passengers who faced their fear and lived to tell the tale, and for Schornsteimer and Tompkins, those pilots who stared death in the face and never blinked. They're a testament to the fact that, even when everything goes wrong, even when the odds are stacked against us, we're capable of extraordinary things. Aloha Flight 243, a story that endures. Flight 243, it's more than just an aviation incident. It's a story that captures the imagination, a testament to courage under fire, to the enduring spirit of Aloha. It's a reminder that life can change in an instant and that sometimes the only thing we can control is how we react. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed, remember Flight 243. Remember the courage, the resilience, the sheer will to survive. We're all capable of more than we think we are. Sometimes it takes a brush with disaster to remind us of that.